Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 in the Cessna 182 RG2. Today's video is a subscriber request for Antonio Iozzi, who asked for a trip across the Sierra Mountains. So that is what we are doing. We are here at Mariposa-Yosemite, and we'll be going up high today, crossing the Sierras to land at Mammoth-Yosemite. Should be an awesome flight, filled with a lot of challenges, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Antonio also asked for a new plane, and this is a new plane for me. This is the Coronado Cessna 182 retractable gear RG, which is fantastic. And let's just look at this. Look at all of this texturing. I love the worn feel of it and all of the scuffs and dirt. It actually looks like a older Cessna, like the type that you'd fly in real life. The panel is fantastic. As we head down here, you can see all sorts of chips in the rudder pedals, which are awesome. And that fuel selector is exactly the same fuel selector that's in the Skyhawk M's that I fly. Look at the seat belt, and you can almost feel these seats. Coronado just does such a fantastic job with texturing. So we've got the window opened here to let in a little bit of air. Look at the reflections on the door handle here. Here's our avionics switch and our circuit breakers. And look at that. It's the airworthiness certificate in the little pouch right where it's supposed to be in the bottom left-hand corner. I love it. Visually, this feels very, very authentic. So head down here, and we've got our parking brake is set. Our circuit breakers are in, switches are off. Mixture to idle cutoff, throttle to idle, carb heat's in. We'll check that our trim is set for takeoff. There we go, adjust the trim wheel. It also has a rudder trim that's centered. Fuel selector, we'll rotate it through each position to make sure it works. And let's get this into the off, there it is. Make sure the off position works, back to center tank. Turn on the battery and the alternator, check our fuel quantity left, right, and we do have full fuel tanks in the left and right. Head down here and get the beacon on to let everybody know that we're about to start. Don't mind my head tracking glitching a little there as I get a little too close to the sensor. Check that the prop area is clear. Clear prop. Bring in the mixture. Crack the throttle. We'll prime it. 1, 2, 3 strokes of the primer. Keys are in the ignition. Feet on the brakes. And we'll crank it over. And we've got a good ignition. RPMs are at 1,000. We'll head down here. Oil pressure looks good. Lean the mixture for ground operations. We could turn on the taxi and the landing light. Head over to the little panel here and turn on the avionics. Let the Garmin boot up. Get that window closed. It's a little bit noisy. Once the Garmin boots, I'll dial in the ATIS and we'll get the weather through Say Intentions AI ATC.
Mariposa-Yosemite Airport, automated weather observation. Automated weather is currently out of service.
Well, since their AWAS is out, let's call flight services and get the weather from them. Myriad Flight Services, Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, on the ground at Mariposa, transmitting and receiving on 122.3. Can we get the weather for Mariposa, Mike, Papa, India?
Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, Calaveras Co. Maury Rasmussen Field Flight Services, Mariposa Yosemite Airport. Weather, winds calm, visibility 10 miles, temperature 16 degrees C, dew point 4 degrees C, altimeter 29.97.
Thanks very much, Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey. Alright, let's open up for flight and I'll take you through the flight brief. So we want to cross the Sierra Mountains, which the most sensible way to do this would be at the north or the south end at Bakersfield, where the mountains are lower, instead of at the widest point here, where they're 12 to 13,000 feet. So to do that, we're going to follow a valley, which is formed by the Joaquin River, to get to Mammoth, Yosemite on the eastern side. So we're departing from Mariposa, Mike, Papa, India. We're going to fly to Trident, VOR. Then from there, we're going to make our way into the valley where the Joaquin River flows. And as you see, the elevations here are around 4, 5, 6,000 foot mountains, but the valley is about 3,000 feet. So as long as we follow the river valley, we can avoid these 11,000 plus foot mountains, and we're going to fly at 11,500 to be safe for the trip. As we reach the northeast side, we'll cross over to Mammoth-Yosemite, which itself is at 7,135 feet. Now we are at high altitude at 11,500 feet. At 12,500 feet, we're required to start using supplemental oxygen. However, it's recommended even at 10,000 feet to use oxygen, so that's what we would do for this trip. This would be one of those nose tubes like you have in the hospital that goes into your nostrils, and an oxygen tank draped over the seat behind us. Density altitude is another important consideration for this trip, and really any flight that you do in an airplane. It's the altitude corrected for temperature and humidity, which will make the plane perform as if it's at a higher altitude. Here's an example from a different day where the density altitude is 1,000 feet higher than the field elevation. Mountain flying is another important thing that we would need to prep for this trip, and I would take a course in this if I were really going to do this, because there is a lot to know about mountain weather and the way that wind works over high mountain peaks. Lastly, I'll say even if I had all of that training, I would still cross to the north or to the south at Bakersfield, where it's much safer. Here, there's just no good place to put the aircraft down if you have a problem, and if you do miraculously find a place, there is nobody to save you. You're going to be on top of the Sierras by yourself, hoping to get rescued. But since we're here in the sim and we have infinite lives, unlike real life, I'll give it a shot. So let's see how it goes. Mariposa traffic says Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey taxi from the ramp to runway 8, Mariposa. Alright, test my brakes. They work. We're going to hang a left here. I think that runway 8 is in use. I couldn't quite see the windsock, so we'll wait till we swing around here and get a good look at it. And this airport is freeware by the amazing V Basilio, as is Mammoth, so check out the links if you would like to download them. So there's our windsock. Looks like runway 8. So we're going to hang a right here. Stop at the hold short lines and to do our run-up. Check out the sign. Cool. I love all the details in V Basilio's airports. Parking brake is set. Elevator up, elevator down, left rudder, right aileron down, left aileron down. Flight controls are free and correct. Bring the mixture into full rich. Next we'll bring up the throttle and do our magneto check. There we go. So we'll head down here to the mags, rotate it over to mag left, and we've got a good drop, back to both. Mariposa traffic, Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, departing runway 8, we'll be doing a left downwind departure, climbing to 11,500 Mariposa. Alright, game on. In addition to excellent interior details, Carinata always does a fantastic job with deliveries like this one, and I love that the tail numbers are configurable regardless of which livery you choose. So 402 Foxtrot Whiskey is the tail number that I entered, and it seamlessly configured it for the tail here and even put it on the canopy cover that you saw in the opening cinematics. It was stamped right on the canopy cover. So I love it, and I love that this livery looks like a real livery. This looks like an actual Cessna 182. Alright, we're all lined up here. Full power. Airspeed is alive. Check out the static wick just fluttering in the wind there. That's awesome. Coming up on rotate speed. Rotate, and we're up. Today we are running with actual weather conditions using Active Sky's historical weather feature. So I dialed it back just a couple days to get some clear skies so that the clouds weren't beneath the mountaintops. And I thought it was important to run with the real life weather conditions. We just talked about density altitude, how that plays a factor in the trip. And it's important to be able to simulate that the aircraft could actually make it up to 11,500. The service ceiling on this aircraft is 18,000. which gives us plenty of breathing room, but we picked a cooler day and earlier in the morning to make sure that our density altitude isn't too much different, and it's only 700 feet higher than our 11,500. Alright, let's call up center and pick up flight following. Oakland Center says in a 402 Foxtrot Whiskey is a C182 slant Golf 6 miles southeast, Mariposa, Mike Papa India at 6,500. We'd like flight following, destination Mammoth, Mike Hotel at 11,500.
Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, Oakland Center, squawk 2422 and ident.
2422 and ident, Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey. Alright, we'll get that dialed in here. We'll enjoy flight following while it lasts. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get any reception once we get high up over the mountains. Alright, and there's our ident flash.
Cessna 2 Foxtrot Whiskey, radar contact, 6 southeast of Mariposa-Yosemite Airport at 6900 feet, heading 100, Mariposa altimeter 29.9er. Cessna 2 Foxtrot Whiskey, contact Oakland approach on 132.35.
Over to 132.35, Cessna 2 Foxtrot Whiskey. Alright, we're just getting our prop and our mixture set up here. Oakland approach is in a 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, 8,700, climbing 11,500.
Cessna 402 Foxtrot Whiskey, Oakland approach. Good morning, Mariposa altimeter 29.9er.
Alright, we're on track. Let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery.
These are strange times, spent so long so disconnected. I'm trying to get to somewhere real again. And on a dark night, I came to you like an open question, reaching out for something true, and then you speak back to me in a melodic line. You speak back to me, moving in and out of time, and I know that you are drawn by the same force that pulls me to. When you speak back to me, I know you feel me like I feel you. I know you feel me like I feel you. There's a distinction set apart by this sensation, a curious hope, a place where it can all begin. And the connection is so simple. You recognize a clear heart and a voice from within. You speak back to me in a melodic line. You speak back to me, moving in and out of time, and I know that you are drawn by the same force that pulls me to. When you speak back to me, I know you feel me like I feel you. I know you feel me like I feel you.
Alright, that went surprisingly well, although navigation was a challenge because everything just looked like rock, so it was hard to differentiate one waypoint from another as I was flying. I am really loving the Cessna Skylane, and the seller for me was that it had steam gauges and not the G1000s because I just love old school aircraft. Mammoth is freeware designed by Bullfrog Sim and is also amazing, and I feel I would do you a disservice if we didn't take a minute and just have a look around it. So I hope you enjoy realistic general aviation videos like this. If you do, click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks as always for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.